Afrochicks. I appreciate you joining us.
Yes, I'm really excited to be here. It's my first time in New York, so yeah, I'm enjoying it.
New York is a lovely city. I was not born or have ever lived here, but when I visit, it feels like home away from home. So it's a great place. So to get started, I wanted to talk to Naomi specifically because I feel like you've set a wonderful example of what it means to be a creator who's maybe not transitioning to the Onchain, kind of media space full time, but you're finding a good balance between the two. And so the first thing that I just wanted to ask you is, what drives you? What's your vision for being a creator first? It has nothing to do with Web3.
I think I've always been into creating, like since I was younger. It's just a way to sort of express who you are. And I think sharing that with others is really cool. And as a sports person, for those who don't know, I'm a British champion in triple jump. Thanks. But I think the creator world is so different to the sporting world, because in the sporting world, everyone's competing against each other. Whereas in this creating world, like people are sort of like, you can't even succeed without other people. They're supporting your work with a like, a comment, a share. And it's like you have that actual relationship with people rather than competition. So, yeah.
So as you've introduced yourself, and thank you so much for having done that, can you talk about that persona of like what you're representing through your work on just generally media and the content that you create?
Yeah, so when I first came on Chain, that was in 2021, I made a collection called Afrochicks. And at the time, there wasn't many NFT collections which had Afro hair, braids. So I wanted to make something that represented me. So I started off with that, and I didn't dox myself because I wanted to see, will people resonate with me without knowing that I'm an athlete or anything like that? And then after a while, I was like, okay, I'm kind of taking some time away because I'm competing and I probably need to explain why I'm disappearing every now and again. And then when I told people I was an athlete, people actually in my community came and watched me compete. And then I realized, oh, wait, this isn't just like this parasocial relationship where we don't actually interact. People actually care. And then from that, I think 9 months ago, I joined Farcaster, and I've just been obsessed ever since. I just love the community vibe of it. So I just thank you. I started posting my sport content. I put in a lot of my journey on Zora, training to the Olympics. And then I just thought, wait, can I just show a little bit more of myself? Like maybe it doesn't have to just be sport content. So I just started sharing like random things, and then I got really into matcha and started sharing a lot about that. And then I realized that people started to appreciate who I am, regardless of whatever it is that I'm sort of doing. So it's quite cool.
Yeah. So can you describe maybe one piece of content that you've put up there that has connected with your audience, maybe in traditional media, and how that vision maybe changes or stays the same when you're presenting that for an on-chain community?
Yeah, so an example is on Instagram. I was posting vlogs, and it was almost like, instead of keeping up with the Kardashians, it was keeping up with my training group. And it was very much sort of the office style, but also trying to be cinematic vlogs. And my training group were really behind it. My coach loved being involved, and I'd post it on Instagram. It would get quite a few views, a lot of comments, and then that was sort of it. And then I'll post the next one and the same thing. And then just got to a point where I was on like day 50, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting a bit boring. And also I don't know if, okay, it's entertaining, but what else? Whereas when I started to post my documenting my journey to the Olympics on Zora, people were collecting it, and then it kind of occurred to me that the same way that people want to be early to collect their NFTs or to collect coins, they want to be early in my journey as an athlete. If they can collect my first NFT documenting my journey to the Olympics, when I make it on TV, they could be like, I collected actually her first piece of content, her first training on that journey, rather than just being like, oh, I like to post on Instagram, and it's like, how you can even prove that? I think the thing of it being permanent on the blockchain is what makes it super cool, like that proof that's going to stay there forever. And that's sort of the difference that I've found.
I think it's interesting that you talk about this concept of kind of minting this moment in time on chain. There is a culture of collecting that has existed for a very long time. I mean, there's people who collect things like comic books or trading cards, to the point of like being an athlete that you want to remember something in a moment in time, either of your journey as a sport enthusiast or as a athlete as well. When it comes to your journey though, I wonder, how do you see the on-chain media either, again, having some parallels with traditional collecting kind of culture, and also in terms of like some of the things that might be different in terms of it being permanently on the blockchain?
Yeah, so an example of this is, I think about 2-3 weeks ago, I made a medal moments collection. So I literally went to my parents' house, climbed up the loft and got my medals and took a picture of them, combined it with a video and then put them on Manifold. And I think that was a really cool way of, instead of just keeping something that's means so much to me up in a loft at my parents', it was being able to like share that with the world, and people can also collect that moment as well. So it kind of was like an on-chain sports card. And I think that is something that I wouldn't be able to do on Web2 socials. Like I could have posted it on Instagram again, got a few likes, felt good for a bit, and then moved on. But I think just having that permanent mark on chain is what makes it special.
I think there's also something, and I wonder if you agree, but I think there's also something special here about the visibility that you have about your audience that's collecting this content versus if you were to have produced a sports card that people could buy and collect. You don't know who owns that. You have no record of them. You're not able to engage with them again in the future. So as a creator, as an athlete who's building community, how does that affect the way that you do put these things on chain as you just did with this series that you just produced?
I think it's just really cool how you can sort of pull the data. That's something that you're not able to do on Instagram again. That's something that I really like about Farcaster as well. I'm able to see the people who interact with my channel and then airdrop them some money, literally, super easily. And that's something, again, I couldn't have done on Instagram. If I was to do a contest on Instagram, like, hey guys, if you like this post, I'm going to pull one person to get a giveaway. It's not as interesting, I think, as being able to be like, if you engage, actually I can find, you don't even need to do anything. I can just see who's engaged the most and then just send you all like $1. I don't have that much. But yeah, I think that was like, I don't know, I feel like it's a really cool way to use that data to reward people who've been there with you long term.
Yeah. How do you think having that data, having that visibility can also help you build a relationship with these people beyond just like rewarding them as a thank you and saying, hey, you've been here since the beginning. I appreciate you. I see you. How do you think that this could be something that you can leverage as a community building tool as well? You've mentioned Farcaster a few times, and I think for a lot of us who are here, that's not unfamiliar to us. In fact, today there's a lot that's happening on this table that will be talked about pretty soon that leverages Farcaster as a social platform or protocol. How do you think that all of this comes together to build a community of people who are real fans of your work or what you've created as well?
I think what's really cool is not having to start over. With Farcaster, if I go over to Rodeo, all the people who follow me there who have a Rodeo account are automatically my followers. And then I think what's cool about Rodeo is that they have like a leaderboard, so you can see who your top collector is. Now imagine it's 2028 and I'm like, I want to gift somebody a ticket to come and watch. It's like that person is number one on that leaderboard. So I'm going to, connect, like that person's connected with me. I can clearly see it. Everyone can see it. And I think it's a way for other people to be like, okay, I want to be number one or number two, because that can be rewarded in the future, but not just in a monetary way, but in a relationship way of like, come, like, let's hang out when I'm at the Olympics. Like, that's a really cool way to connect.
I think actually that's pretty cool. And maybe more of an incentive for those of us who have not collected a lot of your work is that as you are on your journey to the Olympics, that maybe this could be an opportunity, not putting any pressure on you, obviously, for us to go and meet and greet an athlete at the Olympics. That would be pretty awesome. I know something that I would find very special as it's happening in my city too, of LA. So that's pretty cool. So in terms of like anybody who's in the audience, I know there's a few people here because we really tried very hard to bring in people, not only those who are already in the on-chain ecosystem, but those who are not even aware of how crypto works. What are some words of advice that you would give them to get started?
I'd say that it's really not as complicated as it seems. I think that Rodeo's doing a really good job. Zora's doing a really good job. It's literally just an iOS app. You download it and straight away with your email address, you can start uploading content. And you don't have to think of it all as like, oh, mint, on-chain and all these scary words. It's literally just uploading content. And instead of people liking it, they can just collect it. I think you don't need to worry about everything that's going on in the background, but just focusing on making great content, uploading it how you would to Instagram or TikTok. But this time you actually have a chance of earning directly from your content, which I think is a real plus as well.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree. And to your point, I think that the wonderful thing that I'm seeing happening more and more is that we are making all of these things a lot more accessible. to your point, using your email, where before it was a lot more complicated to sign up, and if you forgot your keys, you might have lost everything that you've built on that account. It's becoming so much easier, much more familiar, the way that we use the internet and all these other web apps today as well. Cool. Well, I mean, Naomi, it's been really wonderful chatting with you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the work that you do as well. Anything else that you're looking forward to today, maybe based on, because I think you've worked with almost every single partner that we have here today.
Yeah.
Anything that you would give as advice to anybody who's participating in a hackathon today, working with these companies?
I think what makes you special is you. I think just putting your own spin on things, including your personality within the content. You don't have to copy what you think good content is. You don't have to be super technical, but if you have your own style, just bring it. And I think that's what's going to make you stand out amongst all these amazing partners that are here today. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.